So what you see here is the actual IBM Worklight program. It's a fairly simple interface. If you're used to Adobe software such as Dreamweaver, it's very similar. You have navigation on the left here, and you have different elements that you're able to add on the right, as well as different properties for when an object is selected. Um, so it kind of does a split screen here, so you can kind of set up your own environment however you like. On the left here, I have all the code for the application. This is actually all the code for Learn Worklight. Um, and on the right here, we have a little preview. One of the great things about Worklight is it actually does a live preview. So as you're actually working on the application, it'll automatically start updating aspects of it. Um, which is pretty great. If needed, you can switch it up to just design or just the code. And just like in Dreamweaver, it does a lot of it does tabbing of different files that you have open. So it's a fairly simple to use software. Where it gets tricky is actually debugging the software and finalizing the application to get it ready for deployment to either of the app stores. So another great aspect of Worklight is you can actually simulate how your application would look using a mobile simulator, and essentially this all this calls for you is to build and deploy your application. So just by right clicking the common folder, run as, and build all and deploy, this will actually go through and build the application you have created for each environment that you have set up. So, as I mentioned, after building your application to the different environments, you can then gain access to your local host to actually view and simulate how your application would look on each environment. So, if I switch over here to my web browser, there we are, then you'll see that I have an environment set up for the iPhone, the iPad, Android, and just an overall mobile web browser. We'll go ahead and we primarily built this application for Android. So just by clicking on the little eye here, you can then open it up in the mobile browser simulator. And the mobile browser simulator is a pretty interesting, I guess it's its own program, but you can do a lot. You can rotate the device. It also uses another program called Cordova, which allows you to kind of simulate other aspects of a mobile device, such as the battery level, the GPS location, the network connectivity, the compass. You can use the camera. So what you see here is our application as if it were running on an Amazon Kindle Fire 2. You can easily, as I said, rotate the application to view it in different ways, and you can browse through it as you would a normal application. You can also switch between different devices. So by using this drop down here, you can access all the different Android devices, and you can switch up here to say the Samsung Galaxy S3, and you'll see that the size of it increases a little. So the difference between these two aren't too much, but you can also check it out on things such as a tablet. So like the Google Nexus 10, it's definitely a lot bigger, and you can see how your application might appear on this. Because Worklight develops its applications to be responsive to the size and resolution of each device, you'll notice that your application appears a little bit different on each one. And it's fairly intuitive, and it gives you a really good grasp on how your application will look on different environments and how it might react. But this is just pretty much uh, a ground level view of your application. It actually does appear slightly differently when ran on the actual mobile device itself. But this is just an overview of the Worklight program and the mobile browser simulator, just to give you a quick idea of what to expect and how it appears.
Cool.
Say that again.
Cool.
All right.